Welcome back to Views with Hughes. So Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes, and today's topic we're going to talk about Madam Web. Okay, so thank you for joining me on this day. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is coming from many outlets. We see here from Rotten Tomatoes that the tomato meter for the critics, who are actual critics, showing that it's at 13% for the tomato meter, and the audience score reaction with over 500 verified ratings shows it's at 55%. That's not a good look for Rotten Tomatoes at all, if you ask me. Okay, and you don't have to ask me, because of the simple fact that, you know, we all knew that this was expected to be a bit of a flop. Okay, now it's like even the trades are out there going ahead and being honest about this particular picture. Okay, and we're just going to have to go ahead and get into it. So you all know about, you know, last year's The Marvels. It didn't really packed theaters, and surprisingly, most of the guys, it was those who showed up, leaving everyone scratching their heads because it was supposed to attract women. Now it looks like history is repeating itself with Madam Web. Now this movie is actually turning out to be a pretty big mess, and not even the big entertainment news outlets are trying to hide it. Now the budget for Madam Web was supposed to be around about $80 million, as they say, but inside scoop from Deadline Hollywood suggests that it's way over that, like over $100 million over. But thanks to some tax credits from Massachusetts as well as London, Sony actually managed to bring it down a bit. They're sharing the financial burden with TSG, hoping that the movie hits a $40 to $50 million opening globally. Now, it won't bleed money too badly, but compared to Disney's habit of spending 3 times more on their movies, Sony's loss might not be as gigantic, but losing money is never good news. Now, this is coming from also Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro mentioning that S.J. Clarkson, who's the director of the movie, wanted to make a Marvel movie that is not really Marvel-like, if you will. Okay, she aimed to actually go for something more like those old school thrillers from the 90s, which, let's be honest, is pretty odd choice for a superhero movie. Doesn't necessarily match it either. Now, this particular approach doesn't clearly work out. And now some people are pointing fingers at Clarkson and her writing partner, Claire Parker, for predicting their move back to TV pretty soon. So basically, we see here a couple of creators of a film that's a spinoff of a major IP, and they decided to go ahead and reach out and create it in a manner like the classics such as Fatal Attraction, for example, where they're trying to make it come off as that in a superhero movie. I mean, I don't get it. I simply don't get it. You don't take a superhero film a superhero character based on a superhero comic, try to add like a whole female-centric thriller theme to it. Okay, especially if the superhero like Madam Web is actually a secondary character. Now, here's also the kicker. The audience that Madam Web and the Marvels were supposed to attract, mainly women, didn't really show up. Sony tried super hard to reach out to young women, throwing about 75% of their advertising budget into social media and TikTok, but the stats show that more men actually watched the movie. Now, this kind of flips the script on the whole idea that guys are the reason female superhero movies aren't doing well. You know, the same people that have stated that it is the toxic fanboys are the reasons why the movie didn't really do so well, because of the fact that, you know, they hate female-led superheroes. They hate the female superheroes. You know, but the thing is, it actually goes deeper into that. But that's not what's actually happening here. It's the women that they aim to go out for. They're not taking interest in this movie. Okay, it's something that they don't know themselves. It's something that they're not interested in either. And Sony really tried to get women to watch Madam Web, and they spent like 75% of their huge $60 million advertising budget on social media and TikTok. But guess what? More guys ended up watching it, with 53% men and 47% women in the audience. And people are not loving it. Now, this movie got like a 1.5 stars and only had 54% good reviews, which is pretty bad. Now, most people who are going to see it are men over 25, making up 31% of the audience. And they kind of thought it was okay, giving it a 50% score. Women over 25 seem to like it a bit more with the 63% score, and the younger ladies under 25 were close with a 62% score. But younger guys under 25, they really didn't like it, giving it the worst scores at 42%. And these are the people who many are out there saying is our future generation. If they don't like this, then guess what? Your brand is in trouble. Now, the director, S.J. Clarkson, wanted to make a Marvel movie that wasn't your usual Marvel movie, and she was going for something like those intense female-led thrillers that Sherry Lansing used to make. Like I said, Fatal Attraction, but things aren't going too great. Now, there's also some talk that the movie costs way more than they said, like over $100 million more, like I said earlier in the video. But with some smart moves using tax credits from Massachusetts and London, Sony might not lose too much money. Hopefully, if they just hit it at a $40 million to $50 million mark or for opening worldwide. And Sony decided to bring back the same guys who wrote Morbius, which didn't do too well to work on Madam Web. They wrote the first version, and then Clarkson's writing buddy Claire Parker finished it up. They were trying to shake things up and do something cool and different, but it didn't work out. It also kind of got awkward timing because the movie came out right after the Marvels, which didn't do too well either, with the lowest numbers for a Disney MCU movie. So yeah, it's been a bit of a tough time for superhero movies, especially ones trying to get more girls to watch. Now, Deadline Hollywood even called out the excuse that fanboys are turning on female superhero movies, and just like that, it's just an excuse. They pointed that out when movies are actually good, like Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Everyone shows up no matter who the lead is. But in the long run, that movie didn't do so well either because of the fact that it didn't get any repeat viewers and stuff, and it didn't break even in the box office. People just showed up to Black Panther Wakanda Forever because of the fact that the loyal customers wanted to see Black Panther. Okay? They didn't expect it to be Shuri until the last minute. Now, as for Madam Web, the breakdown of who watched it is pretty interesting. Men over 25 and women over 25 made up the biggest chunks of the audience, but the youngest guys were not impressed. They were the least impressed, giving it the worst ratings. Now, they might say something about how younger audiences are tired of being fed the same girl boss narrative without much substance. Now, social media wasn't buzzing with the excitement for Madam Web either. Even with the big influencer like Sydney Sweeney on board, the movie's online presence was lackluster, compared to the other superhero films. This just goes to show that a big social media following doesn't always translate to box office success. So what does this mean for the future of superhero movies, especially those trying to target a female audience with female leads? It's actually clear that the simply being a female-centric movie is not enough to draw crowds in. Hollywood's got to take note and realize that the audiences want great movies first and foremost, regardless of the gender of the heroes. So what do you think about all of this? Do you think that Hollywood's going to learn from their flops, or are we in for more of the same? Make sure you drop your thoughts and comments about this video below. Now, we need to also consider that they need to stop using characters that are from mostly male-centric comic books, as well as even shows and other entertainment outlets to try and draw in women, okay? Because you're not going to get that many women to actually show up, okay? You're going to get mostly men who are thinking it's going to be men, or the younger men, like I stated, are going to hate it, okay? They need to start learning about this quickly, and they need to start learning about this before it's actually too late. So be sure to let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.